Hello and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan, and I'll be your dungeon master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, as always, we have Matt as Victor of the Calder, the human death cleric, Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the elf-marked seraphage sorceress, Jason as Cut of the Faceless, the Darrakul rogue duelist, Cam as Corin Fleshrend, the Darrakul battlemaster fighter, and Eric as Sylvester, the Dampier warlock with the Spine Devil familiar Annie. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press, so you will notice some differences in some of the races, classes, features, and whatnot. But please be aware this is an evil campaign containing evil-aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and mayhem are fairly common. Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight?
Great. Ready to get out of port here.
Ahoy.
Took us a long time to get the ship, so it's going to be great to
it was
get
an
out
episode.
onto the
that was the
Fart Sea.
That was the goal. Just get 80 feet by the end of the episode and move somewhere.
That's actually good for us. 80 feet.
I was gonna say
I
that's
80 feet.
We didn't trigger any traps.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say, I felt like we could have easily just like fucked around in the bar or whatever. We actually accomplished something. I felt like that was good for us.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
And Sculpting Chin cheered for a bless for Matt.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Oh, and he dropped some. Oh, and Amerison's here too. Dropping some channel points for Eric's Gamma World. We're at 95%.
Oh,
gotta
man.
Gotta start thinking about that.
It's coming.
And you said you're doing the 4th edition.
Yeah, the most recent version
Okay.
of Gamma World,
Okay.
which is loosely based on 4E.
Got it. Oh, so it's like a hack kind of thing. It's not like 4E with Gamma World
It,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we, on the weekly scroll, as we're prepping that, we're going to do an episode where we will go through Gamma World 4E, and we'll bring Eric on to talk about that when we, prior to running it, so we can do kind of like an intro to the game, kind of like quasi-zero session prior to running it on the channel. I've never run or even read any Gamma World at all, so it'd be good to have it on the weekly scroll. And like I said, 2 birds, 1 stone. We can intro everybody to the game prior to running the game, so people have a little bit more of an understanding. So that will happen. I assume we'll hit the last 5% soonish, but I imagine probably more towards like March, April, Eric.
Yeah. Well, so I'm out early Feb. So I'm thinking we'll start prepping the week after, kind of talk. Providing we
Sounds
hit up 100%.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh, it's gonna happen.
I have faith. I have faith in the community.
Hey,
My 79,000 points. I'm itching to click the button, but I'm holding back.
Hey, listen, no more contributions from members of the team.
Well,
But yeah, I figure we'll start
maybe your daughter.
late Feb, early March.
How many
maybe.
players? Is it gonna be
Do,
4 players? You don't know? Whatever.
Figure that out. Yeah, that'll be part of the prep.
There you go. We'll see what happens. And just as far as everything else goes, we have Merkborg tomorrow, continuing Putrescence Regnant.
Yeah.
And for those who tune in regularly to the Dark Kingdoms, I think we've said this before, but the players are starting to reach the climax of this campaign that we've been running for over 2.5 years. There were 30 episodes prior to us going on stream, and I have most of those in audio. Maybe one day in the future when I feel like it, I will try to dig out that audio and maybe we'll throw it up somewhere for people to listen to. Maybe even just a YouTube VOD with just like an image or something.
Yeah, that'd be a
behind
good
it.
idea because they're all on there or anyway. The rest of them.
Yeah. So people can check out what happened in the early parts and on the episodes that we missed, because I know we have one of our first episodes was the 30 episode recap prior to running episode 1, so people have a general idea. But I think we started recording the sessions after session 4 or 5.
You didn't record
started
Alcava, did you?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah,
That
the
was a
last
good
session
one.
I missed. The last session I missed was the zombies in the cave.
Oh, one of the
When-
one of the best sessions of the Dark Kingdoms. I
That's
feel like.
that's one of
So
my favorite
that's-
sessions I've ever run, and that's why I started recording the in-person sessions. After Eric saved Sam,
Yeah.
and everybody was basically thinking the campaign was over right there. I started recording after that, and I think I have almost all of them. Any ones we don't, I could just do like a recap or whatever, or just say, "Oops." So we'll see what happens once this campaign ends, and we'll talk about what the plans for the future of Wednesday night on the Adventure Archive is. But we got a little bit of time for that, especially with this group. Who knows? Could be 6 episodes, could be 20. We'll see. But yeah, so that is what's going on with the Dark Kingdoms. I haven't played some of these.
I think we're just gonna sail around for a couple sessions.
Yeah, we should.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We transition into a Seven Seas campaign and just become
There you go.
pirates.
It'll be like one of those things where we don't want it to make it end, so we just start killing time. Hey, let's go
Shit, it's
back
a
to that
a
port and like
montage.
hang out at the bar.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and we just collected a bunch of fur. We could just go like on a separate, quick little mission to sell off all the skins.
It'd be a great
Mm.
place to do that at. It's probably Vandekhul. Probably got some
Vandekhul.
nice,
Mm.
yeah.
And Zobak. We need to go back to Zobak like right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it's literally that way. If you just hang it right out through Fretlock, you're back to Zobek.
Hmm.
So quick little recap of just what happened last time. The party, after meeting with Narosane, one of the kings of the Derrickul before it became an empire, and who is very anti the current Imperium, had the party a little bit more than last time. Fetch him a powerful item he needed to try to start to rebuild his power, and with the party doing so, gave them some assistance and guidance to stop this ritual. He told them to head to this dock, try to get a boat and head to Vandekhul, where Duke Drago Blackfly is, and where this ritual is supposed to be happening. And once there, to try to find a couple of his former allies that, once they know he has regained this staff of power that he had, they would most likely be willing to assist him. They gave you a token to identify him. Who has that anyway?
I believe I have it.
Yeah, but it's
Cutter
Cutter.
has
Like
I thought you could
It's
It
like
was like
attached
a
onto his
bracelet,
hand.
right, or something.
Yeah, it's like a bracelet. Yeah, it was just like it's like a beetle, I believe, and the arms is kind of like clamped around. So you have this sweet bracelet. And yeah, so you guys headed to the dock here. You saw the Crimson Bloater and the Skin Trader. The Skin Trader was docking with what appeared to be a vampire spawn captain and a Shadow Fae ambassador disembarked, wanting to leave the Imperium, but apparently coming from Vandekhul. She lived and left, and you all battled the crew of the Skin Trader, killing them all, including the vampire spawn captain. Gave a fee, a non-witness fee, to the administrative ghouls that were in the administrative building here, so that they saw nothing. Dumped the bodies in the Sulphur Sea and disembarked on the Skin Trader with 2 of the crew that were left behind to get maintenance on the broken down Crimson Bloater. So it is all of you and 2 ghouls heading away from the docks across the Sulphur Sea to Vandekhul. So what are you doing?
We want to stop at that island on the way.
Candelier, yep,
Yeah.
if possible.
For some Ghoul's Bane. Is that what was there?
It was Ghoulbane oil. Although it may
Okay.
not be super important because we have 2 ghouls on our team, so
Yeah.
it could backfire on us.
Yeah, you could bane me.
Good.
Just don't touch it.
Also,
Sylvester's
but
like
also, yeah.
collateral.
We have 2. They've got thousands.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's
Good
true.
point.
So you're heading out onto the Sulphur Sea, and as you do, you notice some various things. First of all, it smells like sulfur. Not great for many of you. If you smelled sulfur, it is like stinky rotten eggs. And as you're sailing, you notice some various, let's call them hazards, that without some crew members that know these waters would be much more difficult for you. There are sulfurous clouds that kind of appear and descend pretty rapidly in specific areas, but your crew members know these areas to avoid. There will occasionally be some geothermal activity beneath the waters of the Sulphur Sea. Some boiling water and jets of this liquid will fire up, occasionally cascading across your boat. There's also a submerged reef that would have been quite difficult to avoid, once again, without some of your Crimson Bloater new companions to navigate. And each time that they kind of direct this kind of like, I don't know, ramshackle crew, since most of you, I think we decided none of you know how to sail based on rolls.
Yep.
Correct.
You're able to dodge and miss these things, but each time you dodge one of these hazards, it kind of further reinforces this feeling that, like, man, if we had just tried to do this on our own, we might have been fucked.
Yeah.
They tell you at one point there is a definite section to avoid where there are creatures called night gaunts, roost, that attack from this forest of stalagmites. And once again, it's probably the way you would have gone. So, reinforcing. Good job with your
We should roll random
last
names
session
for the bloaters.
Hey, if you guys want to name the bloaters, name them. I got a name list over there, but it doesn't really work for Derek.
Hamish, maybe? No.
No, that's my name.
One
We've
of
had
them.
a lot of we got Ted,
Bill and Ted bloater.
Bill and Ted. Yep.
There we go.
All right.
So those are their names. At least those are the names they said they had in life.
Yeah.
So
Um,
we're gonna have them make their way. Yes, I think we agreed to the island.
Yeah.
You wanna
We're
head
gonna
towards
give them the boat
Chandelier
once they get
Island.
us there,
Yeah. They acquiesce. They let you know that it is actually on the way kind of on the way to Vandekhul.
Perfect.
Let's kick back to this over here. And I will open up some of the it here.
The northern part of the Sulphur Sea, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. And that is ominous. That's just like completely urine colored.
Yeah.
Interesting, your mind went straight to urine instead of like sulfur.
I like how there's even farts on the Sulphur Sea.
And he works with kids, and they all pee in the pool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pee.
Everybody pees in the pool.
Well, yeah, only
Okay.
kids do that.
Yeah,
right?
everybody does.
If you say
Yeah.
you've never peed in a pool, I say you're a fucking liar.
I'm not saying I never pee in a pool. I'm just saying not in a while. However, I do pee in my wetsuit almost twice a week.
I thought you were supposed to get warm. That's what I was
Oh
always
yeah, it
told.
helps so much. If you don't, you're a fool.
Yeah.
So that's
Fucking,
so
And
you
I'll
make
like,
tell you.
I'm getting the fuck out of
It's the
here.
best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Sylvester makes
Without-
a wetsuit out of skin.
Yeah.
Oh well, no,
Without
Sylvester hates
the-
boats actually.
Oh, that's
So,
right. That's
none of the sea shanty shit. I'm actually kind of laying in the bow. Maybe yacht rock's most Sylvester's jam. So I'm kind of humming some Christopher Cross sailing kind of thing.
Sailing, sailing.
It takes him away.
Takes me away.
To where he's going. Yeah.
So you guys head towards this kind of it's not unavoidable. You can't really sail on the Sulphur Sea and not see this island, the Chandelier Island. And from a distance, you see it looks like a massive stalagmite. Because mites come from the floor, because stalactites come from the ceiling. They're
Like what?
stalactites,
Yes.
and they hang.
Because all titties come from the ceiling, as we know.
Sure.
Exactly. Most of them hang down. So, but what you see at a distance is weird about this stalactite is it seems to be almost crystalline. And the Chandelier Island appears to be quite large, in fact. But even at a distance, something catches your eye about the island. It's movement that appears to be happening. It's this. I'm just going to give you a little bit of direction here, where you're at and where you're going. So we're going to kick to this. So you have left the docks. I spelled sulfur. I knew it was PH when I was writing up the thing. And I did not write PH anyway. So it is the Sulphur Sea. Let me just move this to the map layer. So you're heading towards Chandelier Island. And again, what you see is movement on the island. You actually see ships docked.
Like
So ships, like big.
2 ships or like 20 ships?
You see more than 2 ships. And at a distance, I will say first, disregard all of the numbers and names on this map. There was no like player version of this map. But this is what you see as you get closer. It is a pretty large island hanging beneath this crystalline structure.
Whoa.
And what appears to be occasionally these large red drips coming down through these sword-like crystals hanging from the ceiling that appear to be dripping down onto the top of the island. You see that at quite a distance, but all around the island, you see you see docked ships, roughly the size of yours, and then one massive ship moored around here.
So kind of where where it
s-
goes to the water's edge.
Kind of where it looks like the primary like dock would be.
Yeah.
If there is a spot. You also get the sense that it wouldn't be very easy to kind of park your ship and ascend outside of this area. But what is sitting there is this.
Whoa.
It is a massive, what appears to be warship.
Can we see anybody on the deck?
Yeah, you can. It appears to be mostly still crewed. And as your ship is kind of, first of all, this is at the edge of your vision.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I want to ask Bill and Ted, what's all that? I thought nobody was supposed to be on the island.
Usually there isn't anybody on the island, but that is the Phantom.
Go on.
The Phantom is an Imperial warship. It's generally controlled by the Duke in Vandekhul.
Avgos?
I think Avghost is who we want.
Drago.
Oh,
Drago
Drago.
Blackfly.
Yeah.
Drago Blackfly? Blackfly? Duke Blackfly? That guy?
Yes, Duke Blackfly. Yes,
That Duke.
that Duke.
We just
We
stole
think
ship.
this is maybe where they're doing the ritual and storing him.
Would Duke Blackfly be on the Phantom?
I don't fucking know where he is.
Is Eric? Who is the guy that you could like see into their dreams?
Was
that Abgos?
Avgos, yeah.
Is that anything we can use to find out if he's here?
If he's asleep.
So at this distance, you're starting to get. Is the boat still moving forward?
I'm
or
gonna tell
what is the
Bill
boat
and Ted to slow it down. Let's keep our distance so we know what we
Gotcha.
want to do.
So you're kind of drifting forward. You see a lot more movement on these on the island. It actually appears to be swarming with people. One of the things you do find interesting about it, though, is you get close enough to see some standards and livery kind of a lot of the creatures that are on this island. And they do appear to be ghoulish or Derrickul in nature. And they're wearing this mostly black uniform with silver flies on it. Which you know to be the general livery of Duke Drago Blackfly. What you also see are a number of robed figures swarming the island. And instead of this sigil of Blackfly kind of emblazoned on a lot of their robes is this symbol.
Oh shit.
It's like a
V is
sandworm. Do I recognize that symbol?
You probably do, but Cam, Corin definitely does.
Okay.
Especially if he's been around Vandekhul, which I can only imagine.
Yeah, he traveled there often with his former employer.
So within the Imperium, there are a number of churches, and one of the primary religions down here actually worships Anu Akma, but in a very different way than you guys are used to in the Southlands. Not used to what you saw in the Southlands. He is the god of death and kind of the end. But there is a steadily growing sect of worshippers here that worship Vardasane. You have met some of them. You've actually been inside the church of one of them. Not you, Victor.
Yep.
And this is the symbol of Vardasane. It does have a little bit of a twist on it. In that outside of this green, there is this large purple ring around most of it. Corin, you would know that these are the members of a specific group within the worship of Vardasane that works directly for Radomir Marrowblight, who is the kind of archpriest of Vardasane within the Imperium.
Is it common knowledge that Radomir or I mean Vardasane is working with Drago Blackfly, or that they are aligned?
I would say that you have never heard of anything like that. What you and most people know about Radomir Marrowblight is that he is a fanatic. He is not a fan of the worship of Anu Akma, and doesn't believe that death should be the primary focus of religion in the Imperium, but more hunger. Vardasane is the god of hunger. Radomir is quite outspoken about his desire for the primary religion within the Imperium to be the worship of Vardasane. It's not a secret at all, and he has a kind of steadily growing, it's not really a cult so much as like religion in the Imperium. And again, you guys have been in a Church of Vardasane before. You've met one of their high priestesses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Didn't we get a certificate or something?
You did. I
Did
think.
you get
I
a
did. Was it
certificate?
me that got it?
There was like a weird.
Like, she was asking.
Victor wasn't able to go in.
That's right, because she's like,
Cashed
"Will
in
you
something.
spread the word?"
Yeah.
Yeah, why weren't you able to go in again? I forget.
He wouldn't eat the. He wouldn't like kind of swear allegiance to Vardasane.
Didn't she just want you to eat like a finger or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. No
It
big
was
deal.
a little more than that though. Like she was like, you needed to kind of
Victor's such a soft.
say that Vardasane was like your god or whatever.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there it is.
Yeah. So you met this
Doreen,
high priestess. Yeah.
Oh,
Green.
it has that stamp on it.
Yeah, it's got a wax seal on it.
There it is.
The seal of Vardasane. Again, Radomir is kind of separate in that outside of the normal symbol, he has this kind of like purple ring all the way around. It's kind of like framed in purple. So his colors, if you will, would be green and purple. And what you see, as I said, swarming across this island are what appear to be soldiers of Duke Drago Blackfly and what appear to be priests of Radomir Marrowblight and Vardasane. You also get the sense from this distance that it is highly unlikely and ill-advised to get much closer.
We need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, steer wide.
Or-
Do we know though, really quick?
Enough distance that they don't notice us.
Well, we're on our way.
I would say
We got that. We
you're-
got that scroll with the gust.
You're on flat water. As you guys are kind of still drifting forward, you do notice people at this like quasi dock area, like now stopped with whatever they're doing. And
Get out.
looking in your direction. You do see what appears to be a number of the soldiers carrying barrels of something towards some of those smaller ships. And you also now see a little bit more activity on the Phantom.
We need to get out of here. We are not equipped for a battle against a vessel of that size.
We'll turn it around. Let's go. Bill, Ted, you know what
Okay.
to do. Dilly, 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 dilly.
Our chances are try to make it to. How far away is Vandekhul? Can we see the docks?
Not far at this point. Yeah, not far at this point. You're not quite at the docks, but pretty far along. If you decide to just make a sharp turn and head that direction, I mean, that's what you could do, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah.
Yes, we would
We
like
have
to
to,
make
yeah.
a sharp turn.
Okay. So
Do we-
as you do that, yeah.
Do we know the was it Narrowsane that we gave the staff of the underworld to?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we know like what his religious affiliation was?
He wants to rule the underworld.
I know that. What
But
was
as far as
he-
his religious
Oh.
affiliation, I don't think that you really asked.
Okay.
He's so strong that like he's like not a god himself, but he was kind of like
I
if
know,
he could
I'm
get back to
curious.
power, he's kind of demigod.
No,
Like
well, like Blackfly and this other guy seem to be odd bedfellows. I'm wondering if the allegiance is one of convenience, and if you'd rather be with somebody else. That's all.
So some of the things that you do know about this ritual, you were told at one point that it kind of at the behest of Vardasane, or in his name.
oh,
Got it.
we
Oh,
know
yes.
the name of the allies that of Narrowsane that we're kind of keeping our eyes open for.
So you guys would like to head to the dock, is what I'm hearing. Bill and Ted take a sharp turn,
Head to
and as
Vandekhul.
they do, when you look back, you do not see the ship following you. Chandler Island kind of somewhat recedes in the distance, and you head towards Vandekhul. As you head that direction,
Are there any other ships around?
there's not.
Like none on the sea floating around?
None. No, you
Okay.
were the only vessel heading from
Yeah.
the docks to Vandekhul, and a number of other ships were around Chandelier Island. Other than that, the ships you see in the distance, kind of at the dock, are all you see.
Okay.
Like as we're coming in, Corin's been here a few times. He'd direct Bill and Ted towards what he would consider a less traveled slip, maybe away from where most travelers or traders would come through. If he's gotten any idea.
Gotcha. Yeah. There isn't really one. There is a dock, and that is about it. Vandekhul, although it is the second kind of largest city within the Ghoul Imperium, it's not big by any stretch of the imagination. All of the cities down here in the Imperium are quite small, and the Ghoul Imperium itself is not super large, maybe like tens of thousands, and that's it. But as far as size, you, even from the sea, you can see a lot of the city laid out in front of you. You also know Corin, especially, and maybe Cutter if you've been here quite a while ago. But you definitely have been in Vandekhul in your past, Cutter, and Corin probably most recently. Vandekhul is protected on all four sides. There is a western wall of this cavern that it sits in, and that kind of surrounds three sides of the city. And on this right side is the Sulphur Sea itself. You know that the shoreline is defended by guard towers, and that most of the Imperial ships here belong to the Harvester Legion, which is one of the biggest and baddest legions of ghouls within the Imperium. Much of the Harvester Legion is kind of based out of Vandekhul instead of the capital. Stone walls and well-guarded gates protect the landward approaches through tunnels from the White City of Darakan to the northwest and the sulfur mines to the south. And those walls are 30 feet high and 5 feet thick.
So pretty much people only arrive by water?
Or through these massive gates.
Okay.
Yeah, on the landward approaches, but there are these large walls with these massive gates. As you're kind of making your way more towards the dock, you see, as I said, this the city kind of laid out in front of you, over top of the docks with buildings rising, most of it gray or white, and the architecture is reminiscent of mausoleums and tombs and sepulchers that you would see on the surface.
As we're approaching, I go up to Bill and Ted and pluck a hair from each of them and tell them, I'm going to leave Annie with you. And I introduce them to Annie. After we go into the city, go sail around, hide someplace for a while, but might need you to take us back. She'll tell you when to pick us up.
Sure.
And I show them the hairs. I'm like, and if you get any weird ideas, I can find you and kill you.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, enjoy your boat.
And your skins.
Yeah, we made these guys rich.
So as you drift towards the dock, I probably said a little bit of this already, but the pure city of Vandekhul rests proudly on the shores of the Sulphur Sea. It isn't large. Above ground, it would be considered a town, but a number of impressive buildings stand among the smaller structures, particularly along the shoreline. Pleasure barges and other large vessels with ornate and macabre directions are moored close to the rows of grandiose palaces and boathouses. Smaller boats come and go from the busy docks at the southern end of the city. Now, as your boat kind of slips into the docks at Vandekhul, kind of being directed by ghouls on the dock itself, this is what you see. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of information and direction about some of the things you see. This is the pure city of Vandekhul. You are a little to the right here, coming in right here where it says number 1. I'm going to shift over just a little left, or zoom out one more time, Jason.
Yeah, I can't do the left, but I can zoom. There we go. Like that.
Do I need to add more black to it? I can add more before next time. I can actually do it now. There's no grid on this. Give me 1 second.
Do you want to get the whole map in? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can zoom out. There we go.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. So what you see here is the pure city of Vandekhul. And what we're doing, I kind of want to wait until Eric gets back so I can explain how this is going to work. What you see with all of these colors are various districts. Yeah. And here is how this is going to work. Let me kick over to a little bit of different music here. What do we got here? Maybe this one. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Here.
So we're going to do a very interesting, different kind of run through on the city of Vandekhul. Kind of help you explore a little bit and to make things a little interesting. I can copy all of this into a document so you guys can have it later. So I don't need to necessarily write it all down except for tonight. But what we're going to do for the pure city of Vandekhul is what amounts to a Whispers, Rumors, and Secrets extended RP skill challenge is what I wrote down. So there are 10 districts across the pure city of Vandekhul. There are the docks, the Fleshling Quarter. Let me point these all out to you. This is the docks. Fleshling.
Do we know what that means?
One of the things. So your Derrickle friends would within the Imperium, human like living things can exist with special permission and special like passports basically down here that say don't eat me. There are merchants, there are markets, there are a bunch of things. Vandekhul is right across the Sulphur Sea from the docks, which head to Fretlock. So it's kind of a straight shot from Zobek through Fretlock to Vandekhul, which again is like the second largest city within the Imperium. So there's an entire district that is dedicated to living creatures within the Imperium. So you have the docks, you have the Fleshling Quarter, you have the Artisans District, you have the Residential District. No, I'm sorry, this is the Artisans District. This is the Residential District. You have an area called the Bone Heaps. You have the Merchant District. You have the Colosseum and in the district around it. You have the Waterfront. You have the Holy District. And you have the Northern Quarters. Again, I'll let you guys know this info going forward. You don't necessarily need to write them all down.
Okay.
Each time that you are in a new district, you are going to need to roll a skill check. Either when you enter the district or once you encounter something within that district, there will be a check that you have to do. The DCs start at 15 in most districts. The check can be anything that you want: stealth, intimidation, deception, persuasion, whatever you want. There are no restrictions on using a skill more than once or two PCs using the same skill or anything. It's just based on what happens within that district. The goal is to find information about the ritual, about the people you're trying to find, just about the city in general and what's going on. The only restriction is that the same PC cannot make a check twice in a row. So you can't just default to Sylvester doing a charisma check in every district.
Got it.
So each time you can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
but the same PC can't do two in a row. A failure on that skill check results in a roll on the encounters table. An encounter could draw attention to you. If you draw attention to yourselves, you will start to fill the heat bar.
We're gonna end up with 5 stars.
Yeah, is this
Like
like
Grand Theft
GTA?
Right?
Sylvester, like,
Yes,
How many cops are
it
after
is
us?
like it
That's
is like
awesome.
Grand Theft Auto with
Yeah.
your stars and how many
Yeah.
cops are going to be after you.
All right.
Yeah. As the bar fills, things will get harder for you. checks will be harder. Everything will be harder because it will be more difficult to navigate the city without being caught, without drawing more attention to yourselves, those kind of things. And I will say, combat in the streets will always draw attention to you.
Yeah.
Anytime you draw attention to yourself, this bar will fill up.
Awesome. All right.
If
A
somebody
success.
breaks somebody's heart, maybe.
It depends on where you're at and what's going on. If you're in a building and you can get away with it, that's fine. But if you're in the middle of the fucking streets around the Coliseum, it is impossible not to have. That is literally the definition of attention drawn to yourself.
Is there a way to remove heat, like lying low or doing anything like that?
There is not.
Once the heat is on, it's
on.
It's on.
It's kind of it's not necessarily just an indicator of it's an indication also of just like your presence within the city, like how much you've been noted within the city. So even if cops aren't actively chasing you, it's how many people have noticed you and the things that you've caused. Again, this is not a big spot. If you do something to be noticed, information can spread pretty quickly. So that is a failure. A success, however, will allow you to roll on the whispers and rumors table. Whispers and rumors could give you important information, not only about what's happening in the city, but also about the people within the city.
Okay.
This is not the only way to find out information or to interact within Vandekhul. There are 20 locations all across the city within these districts. When you are in a district, you can explore those locations and you can even wait to use your skill check until you're in a location. But you don't have to make a skill check at each location. Basically, just at some point within the district, you have to make a check. And if you would like to wait for those moments at these important locations, you can, in order to better get information about whispers and rumors that you could find around the city.
Okay, so like
some
when we
of
go
those
to,
locations. No, what's up?
Real quick, so like say we're, for instance, in the Bone Heaps. There's multiple locations within there, and you'll let us know what those are.
So some districts don't have quite as many locations. For example, the docks is marked as number 1. The docks doesn't really have like a specific location within this district. They're just the docks.
Okay.
But if you look at, for example, the Coliseum, there's a whole district around the Coliseum, but the Coliseum itself is a location. So for the Bone Heaps, for example, this is just the Bone Heaps. There's no specific location. So this district is more like unto itself a quote unquote location.
Got it. So basically, if we see little buildings in there, we know there's locations.
If you see a number, like, so see how there's this pyramid structure has an 18 on it? That pyramid structure would be an important location.
Cool.
Within the Fleshling quarter over here, there's a 2 and a 3 within the quarter. Those are specific locations.
Okay, gotcha.
And so 12 is the waterfront, but within 12, you see 13, 14, 15, and 16 all on specific buildings.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So here in the Holy District, 17 and 18 both have numbers. So does 19 and 9. The gate here is number 4 and the gate here is number 22. This, whatever structure this is number 21.
Okay.
And then within the Market District, 6, 11, and 7 are specific. The residential district doesn't have any specific important locations, but when you travel through it, you still have to do a skill check and you can still get information.
Okay.
The thing with the locations is, again, you have to do a skill check in each district, but at the locations, some of them, and you'll find out when you go there, don't just have important information for the whispers and rumors table. So this is not the only way to find out information or interact within Vandekhul. There are a number of locations across the city. Let's say numbered locations. Let me change that. When you are in a district, you can explore these locations. You can even wait to use your skill check until you're in the location, but you don't have to make a skill check at each location. Some of those locations will have people at them that know a good deal more than others. If you find those locations, you will get to roll on the secrets table. which will give you crucial information. So in every district, you have an opportunity to learn a whisper or a rumor.
Okay.
But at some of these specific locations, you will sometimes get to know a secret.
And is
which
that
is-
based on the success of our roll, or how do we know about
No.
the secret? It's
So
just random.
It's depending on its importance within the city,
Mm-hmm.
it will decide whether that location has a crucial information that is from the secret stable, or just good information to have about the city that you could learn something from, which is a whisper or rumor.
Okay.
So
Do we have to move through
and
the
then
city in a Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's just last but not least, the DCs of your rolls can be reduced with interesting and creative interactions and ramping up the RP. This whole thing is pretty much be you and be your character as much as possible and do fun, interesting things. And depending on how interesting it is or how well you handle the situation, instead of a 15, it might be a 14, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, I go here and I do this, the more RP you do, the easier things will be in this final stretch. So I know that's a lot.
Ryan, is this a
questions you guys have?
blessable kind of thing as well? Like I have that necklace.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
You got a whole lot of blesses?
I have one bless, but I've got that necklace too.
Oh, no.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no. You can use the blesses in combat and stuff like that, or like your blesses that people give you.
Sounds good.
But I'm gonna say, using that 8 hour of blessed necklace or whatever is not gonna
No,
be this.
those only work for like a minute.
Dang.
But like,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, I just wanted to set it clear in that way. Totally
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So
Because again, this is more like an
It's
RP
RP,
navigation skill challenge. Yeah.
So I have a question. Do we need to, since we're starting at the docks, is there any kind of mechanic that we have to progress linearly through? Or can we literally say, go from the dock to the pyramid at 19? Or do we have to kind of work our way through?
It's as you explore the city,
Okay.
each time you get into a new district. Basically, since it's all broken into districts, what's basically happening kind of like within the world is as you navigate into a new area,
Mhm.
each area has kind of different information based on that district that you could learn.
Got it. Okay.
So
we
as you
start in the green one.
you will
and
be
work our way.
docking at the green one, which is number one.
Cool.
You can ask me or ask around what each kind of area is as you go into them. There will be within the world like delineations. You'll be able to tell when you're moving from like the docks into the market district, and I'll tell you what the districts around you are. So if you're in the docks, there are like 5 different ways that you could go, 5 different districts that you could move into if you wanted to, as you go through each one. But again, to kind of sum up, every time you're in a district, you are going to have to do a roll, and that roll can give you whispers or rumors, which is information you're gonna need to further know the city. And then at locations within some of those districts, you'll find crucial information, which lets you roll on the secrets table, which will be very, very important information that you will kind of need to know to make your way around the city safely and to get the information and the allies that you need to accomplish your goal, which is to stop this dark ritual that is happening sometime soon.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Any more questions, concerns, clarification? I'm actually going to go ahead.
And we're not, like you said, we're not going to know what the district is until we get there and ask around. Right?
You can, as you're leaving one district before you get into the next district, I can tell you that. So if you're at the docks, and I'll tell you there's a residential district over here, there's the market district here, there's a coliseum, there's a waterfront district. Like, which one would you like to go into next? You can know that information. I'm not necessarily going to tell. Well, I mean, I told you what they all are.
Yeah, I wrote a list
as
down.
a once.
I just don't know where
overview.
each one is. Yeah,
that's fine. You wouldn't know necessarily either. So I'm actually going to go ahead and create a new doc here, and then I'll just share that to all of you. We'll call this the
Also, Flesh Rat has been
final.
here before, right? So you
Yeah.
would kind of know a little bit of the layout of the city.
A little bit of the layout. So we'll say the reason that you know what the next district is because Corin is aware what the next district is. He can say, I've been here before. I know that that's the waterfront and that's the fleshlings.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this into the Discord.
Okay.
That is a link to a page with the breakdown of everything that I just said.
Hey, Ryan, it says request access.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Oh, just, yeah, do a public link and it'll be good.
Change to anyone with the link. Permission updated.
Yeah, there it goes.
Now do you have access to it?
Yep.
Okay. There we go. So that is basically the run up to the end will be this. And the point of this is you guys are landing in a place you've never been, except Corin and maybe Cutter a very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been told that there are allies somewhere within the city, potentially for you. You've also been told that at some point soon, some type of ritual is happening somewhere in this city. And that is pretty much all the information you have when you dock. So any information that you can gather from here on will 100% help you in the end. Even going so far as where the fuck to go to see where this ritual is. That's information you can get from whispers, rumors, secrets, things like that.
But we're not trying to tell you what information we're trying to specifically get. Like, if we succeed on the roll,
We
you
know that
give
we're
us
here
information.
to break up the ritual.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of elements about that could be
Yeah.
involved with that. So.
It is a role on this whispers and secrets table, but
Okay.
if you're in a specific location, again, this is not the only way you can find information. If you do find allies or important figures within the city, you can garner more information than just what's on these tables from those people. Might even get instructions from those people. It's not the only way you're going to be able to get information. But if you do get a role on the table, but specific information would be more appropriate, I can always just say, you don't need a role. Maybe number 5 is literally what you're asking. And I'll just say, instead of a role, you get this information because you zeroed in on what you're trying to get. So this is pretty loose. It's pretty broad. It's not the only way it's to get information, but it is a guide on how to explore the city better and kind of randomizes the information that you're able to get. So it's a little bit more up in the air about what's happening.
Okay.
Jason,
as
you have
opposed
that
to
bracelet.
me trying to plan out every single bit of information across the entire city that you're getting at all times.
Yeah, I have the bracelet.
And so if we run into the Marquess Laszlo Dimas or Marquessa Dorva Grey Suture, they might notice it, I'm thinking.
Okay.
That was the
And
one
if
thing
you're
I
running
noticed.
around the city of Vandekhul with a symbol of a former supposed to be dead king, other people might notice it as well.
Right.
Well, I'm not
keeping that
flashing
fairly
it.
well
I'm not
covered.
flashing it.
And
Well, I mean, Cutter's always been a pretty flashy
Yeah.
guy, you know.
he's been hanging out with Sylvester too long.
Here you
Starting to
go.
wear jewelry.
I know.
Yeah.
It's getting terrible.
Someone's got that sweet belt, don't they?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With that demon belt buckle head or
Mhm.
something.
fly.
It's like a dare cool version of like a rodeo belt buckle. So any other questions or clarifications about this? Again, this is pretty loose. Like, it is just, these are guidelines to make your way around the city. And again, the point of this is it's kind of like our like when we would do those travel episodes from when you guys went from like the City of Visions on, you were kind of like dictating story a little bit. Like I said, doing the RP. If you want to go into a building, you'll talk to NPCs and things like that. The point of this is to be in character as much as you can throughout this city and to get as much information as you can. And I have no specific levels on the heat bar. It's just kind of like how I feel about how much heat you're getting and where you're at. If you just like make a little bit of a nuisance in the Fleshling district, that's going to be a whole lot different than starting a street fight in like the city center or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's pretty up in the air. Once the heat bar, I think I did say this, once the heat bar is full, it is 5 stars in Grand Theft Auto. People are hunting you at this point. They know you're here fucking shit up and they're after you. And it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to navigate the city at that point. So failure is bad, and your RP reduces potentially failures. And I'm going to say for all of this, all of these specific skill checks specifically for this are unblessable. They are you with your character and the stats of your character. So even the ones that people contribute from chat, I'm going to say are not able to be used on these specific skill rolls. Other checks and things that happen within is fine, but if it's literally this is a district skill roll, it's just you and the stats of your character that you have here at the end. What level is everybody, by the way?
14.
Yeah, 14.
Oh, cool. Before next session, you can all go to 15 too.
All right.
And why don't we take a quick break? Yeah, if you make it, why don't we take a quick break here, so that we can, I don't know, top off the coffee and everything, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, coffee.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dark Kingdoms on the Adventure Archive. The party members, first of all, thank you, Merk, for your prime. We really appreciate that. The party members are landing on the docks of the pure city of Vandekhul, where this dark ritual that could disrupt the lands of Midgard is taking place. They're going to be exploring this city of Vandekhul, trying to find the ritual, trying to find as much information as they can about what's happening, not only with the ritual, but within the Ghoul Imperium itself. And we have come up with I've come up with a way for us to do that, which amounts to basically a very interesting skill challenge as the party goes from district to district. All of those colors you see are the various districts across the city. So to start it off, you are landing, Bill and Ted are guiding the boat into the dock here. So as the ship, we'll say you guys are this one. As the ship hits the dock, ropes are cast. It starts to be kind of tied up to the dock. You see 4 Vandekhul in what appears to be this official dress, these robes, and they appear to be basically the dock masters. And they walk straight up to your boat, and they immediately demand to know who you are and what the contents of your ship hold.
I look to Sylvester, the smooth talker.
Do we still have the manifest?
You do, in fact, still have a manifest.
Okay. So, and your tongues that you put on me, Matt, how long does that last? Is that gone?
For an hour, but if since we're RPing, like as I saw the same way I did at the dock, like as I saw you kind of like walking up towards them, it's literally a thing where I can put my hand on your shoulder and then give you 1 hour of tongues, if Ryan's okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, because I've seen this happen twice now, right, in the last 2 days.
Yeah, just mark the spell and you're good to
Yeah,
go.
you got it.
Yeah, because it would have been long gone. It took,
Yeah, it
probably
only
close
lasts
to,
for 1 hour.
And actually, that's something I was
Yeah.
curious about beforehand too. How long did it take for us to get from the
Yeah, true.
other place to where we are now?
like 10 to 12 hours.
Okay. Now we were kind of dilly-dallying though.
Yeah.
We were checking out the island. If we were sailing straight to, how long would it take?
I mean, 9 to 11 hours. I mean, for the time it took you to like kind of detour the island, get going, it wasn't that far. I mean, literally the island is kind of right off in the distant coast of Vandekhul. So
I'm just thinking of egress.
yeah, it's not like
when we're leaving. How long is it going to take us? Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, you guys still have that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, gusto wind. All right.
So this Imperial Derrakul.
I'll slap it up in the chat.
Not Imperial ghouls like you've seen in a lot of the other administrators. These are actually Derrakul, which are considered, just by being Derrakul, you're kind of like a white dude in America. So you get all the benefits without the drawbacks. They demand to see what's going on, and you also see one of the other ones of the four looking over the ship from the outside and marking down on this paper. And one of the things he stops to look at is the name on the side of the boat, Skin Trader. What are you doing?
Which is a popular boat. So I say, well, this is the Skin Trader. I know they trade skins. They were dropping off cargo across the way, and we've just booked passage to get over here, kind of a one-time fee.
So then, where's the crew?
What was the name of the place we left?
It was just called the docks.
Gosh.
It was just the Sulphur Sea docks on that map that Ryan showed us.
On the docks across the way. Apparently, they had a VIP they had to attend to.
Yes, but where is the captain of the Skin Trader? I know him, and you are not him.
No, I am not. Like
He
I
had-
said, as far as
He
I
had
know,
business in Fretlock.
Fretlock.
The captain of a boat like the Skin Trader would not just hand it to you. That's like handing them your...
Oh, the ship's going right back. We paid a handsome fee to just be transported across. It's going back right
bullshit.
now. I'm sorry. We paid quite a bit of money to be transported across.
Mm-hmm. Check out the boat. And with that, the other three make their way onto the Skin Trader and start going through the contents of the ship, all of these skins and things. And he says, the captain gave you his boat to cross the Sulphur Sea and all of his cargo because he had things to do.
Apparently, there was a VIP on board that needed tending.
And the captain himself tended to this VIP.
She was hot.
He means important.
I mean, yes, that's exactly what I mean.
It's the first person Cutter's been attracted to.
Yeah.
Working models.
That's not true. He had a real thing for God. What was the name of the guy that got murdered in the streets?
Oh,
That's right.
The guy I'm wearing his face.
That's right.
Yeah, the guy whose face you have. What was his name again?
God, what was his name?
Oh my gosh. He was
Atticus?
so dreamy.
Atticus?
Too. Atticus.
Atticus. I was gonna say Adonis, which is close enough. But yeah, Atticus.
Yeah,
the only
was
face
handsome.
that you've actually had like magically preserved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably more to mess with Cordelia than to actually care
Yeah.
about the face, but you know. So again, going back to this RP skill challenge, you have to make a check while you're within this district. Would you like that check to be a deception check right now on whether this guy believes you or not?
Sure.
Okay. So also I will not be using any banes on these since you can't use any blesses. So I need a DC 15. I guess, are you using deception or persuasion? I would say deception for this makes more sense than persuasion because you're straight up fucking lying.
I'm totally lying. And yeah, I will use deception.
So I need a DC 15 deception check to convince this guy that the captain of this, you know what? I mean, this is a, yeah, we'll start with the 15. That this guy basically gave you what amounts to like their entire livelihood and like child and house and pretty much the most important thing in this vampire spawn's life ever, so they could hang out with a hot VIP.
Well, I didn't say hot.
She was really, really hot.
Super hot, yes.
And warm-blooded.
Oh, yes.
Very warm-blooded.
If only I could taste it.
Well, maybe that's where his intentions were. She looked a tasty morsel.
Well, hey, you got deception roll. Perfect.
So
That's
as
exactly what you
I'm
needed.
rolling, I'm also still talking about who he was escorting and how tasty she looked. And then I also mentioned that, by the way, if it helps matters, and we paid a hefty sum. And so I'm going to hand him 100 gold as I roll.
Oh!
Bribing. 26. I think you
gotta
did
grease that skid, baby.
Just like out in the open, or do you do like
like a little side hand kind of
like
we paid a lot
like
to be
a
here, and
mafia
we want
handshake.
to be here, and the ship can go back to its captain.
You go out and do like
customs fees,
like a fist bump, and then open your hand.
This should handle all your paperwork. And the ship is on a time frame, and it needs to get back to its captain. So, without further ado, and I slip him the coin.
It's a big ass Scrooge McDuck bag of coin.
Yeah, I gotta take that off.
100 gold.
I'm starting to run low. Wait, where's my?
The majority of our money.
It does not have a big dollar
gun
sign
format.
on it, by the way.
Yeah, no, legit. Like he literally just like stealthily pulls out like a sack of gold.
And like
Yeah,
100
I guess
gold
that's
is
a lot,
legit.
huh?
I'd say that
Okay,
weighs
so
like
maybe
30 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
Everyone thinks that gold pieces are like fucking doubloons this thick. It's more like a fucking quarter. So I mean, you basically have this dude like 10 rolls of quarters.
Well, yeah, that's still a lot.
Regardless, here's the thing. When you hand him that, he's like, yes, thank you for the customs fee to dock the ship here. Take this. And with that, one of the Vandekhul that had been kind of looking at you very closely gets kind of handed this like big bag of cash. Not big bag, I mean it's a pouch. And he's like, oh, and like tucks it away. So yes, your story makes sense. But in addition, there will be the docking fee for the skins aboard as well, and for our time. It is a 5% of the total value of the merchandise.
It's not docking. We're hopping off. It's leaving. You can take that. You know the captain, yes?
I know of him.
Well, you can take up the fees with him.
but you're here now. So how much the hide's worth? And one of the other ones who had been exploring says, looks to be about 500 gold worth of hides. He said, so, an additional 50 gold and you are on your way with no problems.
I believe you said 5%.
Oh, is that what I said?
15.
So then, what's 5% of
25?
that? 25 gold then. That's how math works. I am a dock worker and do this all the time. Therefore, my abacus is well greased. 25 gold. It literally says right here, the customs fee is 25 gold. The standard 5% customs fee for undead merchants. Literally right in front of me, highlighted in yellow.
I'm trying to do
on my
math
thing.
here to figure out. So I'll hand him the other 25.
Yes.
So, okay, got it. I'm just doing my math. Okay, we're good.
Gotcha. And with that, with the basically additional like don't ask questions fee plus the customs fee, they write down on their official documents. They do not ask you for your what amounts to your what did we call it? The travel papers. They don't ask your names at all. They scribble down some things. This is Captain of the Skin Trader, customs fee paid. And the four make their way off of the dock. So you have succeeded in your skill check here on the within the dock. So that means that you get a roll on the Whispers table. So if you could please roll me 1d12.
Somebody roll that up.
That's
well,
you
man.
succeeded.
You did the check.
You're the, you're the man. Who got, what'd you get? 11 over what you needed to get.
7.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah, baby.
Lucky number 7.
Come to daddy.
So as you're kind of wrapping up this, the docking of the ship, talking to Bill and Ted about plans with the ship, things like that, and you can let us know what those plans are afterwards. You're still surrounded by other boats on this dock, other Derricool or even living merchants, loading, unloading, disembarking, all the things around you. And you specifically, as you're kind of like, as these Derricool are walking away, and you're kind of probably not doing any work on the ship, just kind of basking in your ability to deceive people. You hear on a boat next to you these two merchants kind of talking, and what they say to you. And let me mark this one off. What you hear, just write this down a little bit so I can mark the whole thing off. Highlight. The Marquess Dorva Greysuture was an erstwhile companion to Narasane. She became Duke Drago Blackfly's consort after the last king's death, until he callously discarded her in favor of the younger, well-connected Baroness Annika Graveskin. The Marquess has an ostentatious pleasure barge moored at the northern end of the waterfront.
Oh,
She's our
add
one.
me a pleasure barge.
Pleasure barge.
Oh, I can't
Marquez,
I can't
what?
wait to see what this
We
one's
had her
called.
name already because we knew that.
Yeah, Marquez. What was the rest of her name?
It was
Dorva Gray Suture.
yeah. She was in our
Gray
notes from a
Suture.
couple period sessions ago. Other than the pleasure.
And why was she? Why was she in your notes?
You had given me two names that Narasane had said that might be contacts for us that were like loyal to him. She was one. The other one was Marcus Laszlo Demas, and Marquess Dorva Gray Suture.
Okay.
When we get to the, they might aid us.
So that is one of the names. That is one of the allies that you're supposed to seek.
That's awesome.
And at the dock, through your successful dock skill check, you seem to have found her location.
Sylvester, are your purse get a little light? So we have.
It's not heavy.
Still not able to find Beatum in bottom of this bag, but he reaches in and we've got these silver ingots, and apparently each silver ingot, they're kind of bigger. They're, from what the notes read, it was 5 gold pieces per ingot. We had 100 of them.
Okay.
So that could be something that might come in handy for us, since it seems like bribery seems to be the language.
5 silver.
So what they had written was like, it was like 100 ingots, and then
it's a silver ingot worth 5 gold. So it's like a small silver, like
it's like
kind
bigger
of
than
like
a coin. Yeah. So the total value was 500 gold pieces for 100 of these bad boys. So like each one you could give out as 5 gold pieces if you want.
Okay.
It's kind of like a yeah.
And this is from like a long time ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thick credit card of
like the best card in the Mandalorian.
Of silver. It's kind of like this. It's basically you have 100 of these in silver. Is basically what it comes down to.
I say everybody take a couple.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll just. I mean,
we've got who knows 5 who's of us. Have to grease somebody's palm.
It's like 100 a piece. Probably seems too heavy, so I'll probably get.
Yeah, and I can't carry that many.
Yeah, I'll throw like 10 each for now. You can put in a pack or whatever.
Perfect.
So each person has 50 gold pieces, basically, of silver. But you got to spend it in 5 gold increments.
Got it.
Well, the captain's not coming back for his skins. No reason we couldn't sell them, right?
I do not want to draw attention to us, though. No, like he knew.
We have money. We have even more money in the bag.
Yeah, we've got so many uncut gems.
This is just spending cash. We might, and they're not leaving without us.
Yeah.
Or they'll die, and they know that. And I have left Annie on the boat. I think cruising around with us spine devils unnecessary. So,
and do we know like where he said the pleasure barge was? Would Corin know that, the location of it?
He said the north end of the docks.
So 16.
Oh, sweet. So just go to the waterfront. Oh, it's right here, even.
Let's go to the north end of the docks.
Yeah. Oh, I see. 16. Right on.
So, as you disembark from the ship, what are you telling Bill and Ted to do?
Well, I'm curious, and I'm gonna talk to them. I'm like, look, we paid the docking fee. Can you guys be here for a while, or how does this?
I mean, we could have and the one nudges the other one. We could have a sit and wait fee.
Yeah, consider that the skins in the cargo.
Well, we could just. I mean, you said the boat's ours already. We could just drive away as soon as you leave.
You could, but I'm leaving Annie with you, and I will kill you. And I will.
I already lived twice. Yeah, I already lived twice.
So should I just kill you now and find other people then to watch the boat? Is that where we're going with this?
So are you intimidating? Are you doing an intimidation check now?
Do not want to draw heat, yes, Sylvester?
I was going to say to kill these 2 dudes right out in the open in the middle of this busy, bustling docks.
They did save us from sulfur clouds.
No, but I thought we covered this on the way in. I said I was going to ask them to hang around to pick us up, and I was leaving Annie on the boat took their hairs, told them I could find them.
Yeah.
But
So give me an intimidation check for all of that real quick.
Yeah, I'm
This
pretty
is not
sure-
this isn't a skill challenge check. This is
Okay.
just a normal RP check.
Yeah, no problem.
Whoa.
Intimidation is one of my fortes.
Fucking apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, so nat 20
Plus 10.
Eric, son.
Do
Oh
you
my
have
God.
a
I do not have a blue card.
They had heard about the heartbreak, and they knew.
You
And
do
they
not
saw
have a blue
they
card.
saw what we did on the docks at the other place.
Yeah,
They
that's
did.
true. That is true.
They did. So blue cards are also not something you can use during specifically the checks needed for the skill challenge, but for something like this, you could have used it because you got beyond that. So I'm gonna draw 2. And you can decide which one you want because of the one. Because we haven't really used it a whole lot. No one really uses it, so we'll have to decide. You can either have the one that I drew, which is the fortuitous circumstance one,
Okay.
Let's do it.
or the force an attacker to reroll an attack against you.
Boring. I want fortuitous
Yeah.
circumstance.
Because fortuitous circumstance,
Alright.
you can make shit out.
It could be anything. It could even be
So
a boat.
good.
Okay. I am going to find your most recent tokens, and I will just pull them over here. I also need to make a, I guess, just like party token to show where you guys are most of the time. But I'm going to drag these guys here, and I'll just stick them over here.
Fortuitous.
So you do not have a blue card, so let's give you a blue. Could we get exclamation point? What is it? Fate, in the chat, so people know what the blue cards are. We use the Fate and Fortunes deck from Nord Games. So if players have an ability check or saving throw, basically a non-combat crit, they can have one blue card or red card at a time. A blue card is good for them, a red card is bad for them.
It's not working.
And then let's update. So it looks like Matt has a blue, Jess has a blue, and now Eric does. You get fortuitous circumstance. Yeah, and Cam, you're on here too. So that is noted. You got a blue card. And as you kind of run through, they ask you for this, sit and wait fee. You kind of run through all of those things you just said. You're like, remember when we killed those guys, and you get the boat, and I have your hairs, and I'll fucking murder you. The guy's just like, yeah, you know what? You're right. We'll be here for you. And kind of like shrinks in on himself and kind of, So yeah, they will be here waiting for you if you would like them to be.
I would definitely, and I'm leaving Annie there to make sure.
Okay.
She's kind of hidden
right.
away, but she's there.
Guys are. We'll do background color black. And I'm just gonna download this real quick. Actually, let's just do the background color, the same thing. We'll just do that. And I am going to drop this into here. And this is you guys.
What's us?
So wherever
The
this
maroon
token
dot.
is,
Yeah.
Maroon dot. Okay, yeah, because we were making ourselves towards the pleasure barge.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
so as you are exiting, now that you have spoken with the harbor master and all of that, or I'm sorry, as you've spoken with the customs people, they're still on the edge of the dock, and as you're leaving, they say, "Oh, don't forget to check in with the harbor master on your way out."
Okay, now that would be on the way out of the harbor district.
Out of the kind of dock district, yeah. Actually, towards the end of the dock itself, around here, as you're leaving the dock, there is kind of a small, quasi office administrative building right off the end of the main area at the edge of the dock.
But can we see the pleasure barge from where we're at?
No.
Oh.
You're in the dock district, and you have made assumptions on where the pleasure barge is, but it is a decent distance away around corners with buildings in the way and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you can't really leave the docks without passing the harbor master's office.
Just glad to be off the water. That was terrible. I thought it would be very nice, but it made me feel very sick. Not like this.
I guess we're going to the harbor master. Does anybody have a different idea?
We should go.
Would it be very, very obvious if we just didn't?
Yeah, 100%. The customs people are there. They're outside of the customs people. There are a couple of just Imperial guards, just low level, not probably not guests, or at the lowest gas, but they're in Imperial dress, kind of hanging out on the dock or hanging by the harbor master, just kind of keeping the peace at the dock. So yeah, it would be 100% obvious. And this appears to be the norm. The customs checks in with the boat before the people disembark, so they can just make sure some paperwork's in order, and then you head to the harbor master.
All right. I guess we go to the harbor master.
Okay. So you head to the office. You enter the door. There's a bell chime and everything. When you walk in, it's a pretty unadorned, just single room. There are a couple of chairs in the back, and sitting at this kind of large desk with way too much paperwork on it is this Vandekhul. Very serious face, lined, lean, Imperial dress. But the paperwork all across the desk seems, even though there seems to be a lot of it, is in neat, tidy order. And they appear to be writing down information on a form. Move it to the side, look up at all of you. All right, all of you sit down. One of you come forward.
I sit down.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Victor kind of feels like shit, and he just steps forward. Yes, sir.
Travel papers.
He reaches, I guess, into the bag of holding, and I'm assuming we still have those papers that we got at the beginning. It was the admin building or whatever.
Yeah, from the Pit of All Flesh outpost.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's all he has. He's got the dumbass thing where he spelled one letter differently on his name, and he hands him the paper that says Victor.
He takes it, puts it down. I see a note here. You are not permitted in the Pit of All Flesh. Why is that?
Honestly, I'm a bit seasick. I believe we were not permitted because we were too successful. Does that make sense? We kill many in pit. Yes.
Yes, that's a
Oh.
lie. What is your purpose in Vandekhul? And he has this paper and he like looks at you and puts his check on it.
Yeah. So
What is your purpose in Vandekhul?
I have never been to a pure city before. Very curious, visiting. First time I heard there perhaps is place for pleasure.
Another lie. From whence did you sail?
I do not know name of it, but the dock I cannot see. But
You
just
are a
over
merchant,
horizon.
according to this. You docked with a ship, and yet you have never been to Vandekhul, and you don't know from whence you came.
Yes, we
What
were.
is the name of the ship that you arrived on?
I believe name of ship Skin Trader.
The skin trader is captained by Draven. You do not look like Draven. Where is Draven?
Definitely, he's much better looking than me, but he was off with, I believe, what you call a very beautiful, important woman from Shadowfell. Yes,
I like how this story.
I am aware of the woman. Draven would not have left with her. What happened to Captain Draven?
I cannot speak for him. He's much higher ranking than me, but and he's kind of.
You
Shuts
are
up
on
people a
Captain
bit.
Draven's ship. It is literally the purpose of his existence. How did you come to be in possession of it, and where is he?
We sailed on it. We need to get here from docks. If you saw other ship, I thought a good ship. I'd never seen boat before from Ruthenian Plain, but apparently it was piece of shit. And so we paid a great sum to sail this ship. Yes. Uh-oh.
Is that the heat?
He
Heat
heats
dice?
up. And he kind of just, I mean, I guess, is this guy's pretty like military bearing or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he
Yeah.
kind of,
Pretty no nonsense.
Victor was never in the military, but I mean, he does kind of respect strength. So I guess like he kind of, even though he feels a little ill, like he kind of tightens up his posture a little bit just to be respectful.
How long do you intend to stay in Vandekhul?
To be honest, I do not know. I do not think it will
I think
be very
to be
long.
honest is also a lie. Is there anyone in Vandekhul who can vouch for you?
Oh,
believe-
we're in Vandekhul.
Yeah,
I am not
was gonna
speaking
say,
to you.
Vouch for him.
He looks at the chuckle fucks on the chair. He's like,
Mhm.
And I'm kind of chuckling at this. It's funny to me.
He puts his pen down. He crosses his arms. He
we
looks
are
at
supposed
you.
to
He
meet
looks.
Marquesa.
He looks at you. He looks you
future.
up and down. Is there anything else you would like to say on your behalf or declare?
I declare that I'm just glad to be on solid ground here in Pure City, sir.
That speaks of truth the first time. So, you, wearing the disguise of a Derrickul, somehow got into possession of Captain Draven's boat. Will not say where he is, and have lied to me about everything else.
I very
Why don't you sit
honestly do
down?
not know where he is.
And
He sits
sit down.
down. He sits
Next.
down.
Next.
We're all together. You see.
Next.
All right, I'll step forward.
Right.
Oh, great. Oh, he's rolling. Maybe it's good.
You, at least, are a Derrickul. Where are your
Yes,
travel papers?
Of course. I'm gonna hand him my papers.
What is the purpose of your visit to Vandekhul?
Oh, just see the sights, you know. Never been here.
From whence did you sail?
A dock.
You are on the skin trader as well, I assume.
Yes.
Yes, and where is Captain Draven?
As my friend said, he went to go see to a VIP, a very attractive
How long do you
woman.
intend to stay in Vandekhul?
A couple days.
Can anyone in Vandekhul vouch for you?
No, never been here. Don't know anyone.
Do you have anything else to declare?
You are a very thorough gentleman.
Thank you. Sit down. Next. Next.
What?
I'm not getting up. I'm laughing.
All right, I'll
at the
get
two
up.
previous.
Papers, please.
Hand him papers.
You are also now allowed back in the pit of all flesh. Why is that?
I don't know, actually. Sure.
You are also disguised as a Derukul. Why is that?
What?
What?
What is the purpose for your visit to Vandekhul?
I'm just, with my friends seeing the sights.
From whence did you sail?
Dog. A dog.
You are on the skin trader as well. Where is Captain Draven?
Last time I saw him, he was walking away with a very attractive woman.
How long do you intend to stay?
A few days.
Who in Vandekhul can vouch for you?
No one.
Do you have anything else to declare?
No.
Sit down. Next.
Corin stands up.
Papers.
Mine were taken.
Oh.
They were. So just as an aside, your papers are probably still with your things, unless you
Okay.
specifically don't want to give him the papers.
No. If Corin actually does have legit travel papers, he'd hand them over.
So he takes them from you. I see nothing here about the pit of all flesh. Are you associated with all of these?
Only recently.
Makes sense. What is the purpose of your visit to Vandekhul?
Would you believe me if I told you overthrowing the Imperium?
Even more than most. From whence did you sail?
The docks off of the road from Fretlock, across the Sulphur Sea.
Right. You came on the skin trader. Where is Captain Draven?
The Sulphur Sea.
And how did he come about being there?
Well, we threw him in after we killed him.
And why did you kill him?
We needed his boat.
All right. How long do you intend to stay?
Until we're done.
Who in Vandekhul can vouch for you?
I vouch for myself.
All right. And do you have anything else to declare?
No.
All right. Thank you. Please have a seat.
I expected him to say your mom at that point.
And last,
I give him my papers.
Does Sylvester have beautiful gold hair over his Derukul face?
But I'm curious how he knows we're not.
Yeah.
And if it's like a mind reading thing, you can't read mine.
It's not a mind reading thing. If you actually read the Book of Anuakma under close inspection, the facade does fade. With the initial lies, he became much more suspicious and inspecting, so he gets advantage on all of his rolls to peer through that, and he has not rolled less than a 20 on all of them.
Yeah.
So he hands the papers. He says, "You are also disguised as a Derrakul. What is the purpose of your visit to Vandekhul?"
Well, I'm with them. I go where they go. They brought me here.
From whence did you sail?
The dock's on the other end.
You were on the skin trader. Where's Captain Draven?
As he said, in the sea.
And how long do you intend to stay?
I want out of here as quick as possible. An hour
who
for
in
my
Vandekhul
decision.
can vouch? Who in Vandekhul can vouch for you?
Duke Avgust.
I am not aware of this person. And do you have anything else to declare?
Smelly here,
Please have a seat.
I said.
First and foremost, you're all idiots. You're all liars, and most of you are living. Most of you are not Derrakul. Facade is a good one, not good enough. And with this, he pulls out this large ledger. And he takes all of the travel papers. He kept them all, aligns them all out, starts writing names into the ledgers. You, the first idiot. What is your real name?
Real name Victor.
With a K.
With K. Yes.
Yes.
That was a long game.
Yeah.
That finally came to fruition, though. Right.
And young lady.
Dariana.
And what was your Derrakul name again? What did he have on the papers?
It's like Slasher, I think.
Slasher.
I'll have to look
Yes.
We should have been
Sounds
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Slasher.
Disguises.
The
Axel.
first
Axel or-
Derrakul is this Cutter your real name?
Yes, it is my real name.
Yes. And the last idiot. What is your real name?
I'm sorry, you're talking to me.
I am, in fact.
I had a lot of names. You really don't want me to go through that again.
Just give me the name you're most called by in your non-Derrakul form.
Sylvester.
Sylvester. And what was your Derrakul name again?
Oh, and so I would correct him on that too. My Derrakul name was Killerin, but that was a thing. It was supposed to say kill again. The person writing it down, I don't know, maybe I was slurring, wrote Killerin. I don't know if you can fix that or not. I'm just saying.
Kill again. And he writes multiple names across this line. You, Corin. Corin is your real name, I assume.
Of course.
Step forward, please.
He does.
He hands all the travel papers back to you. And then he opens his door and he pulls out these leather, like necklaces, basically, these leather strips. And he pulls out a number of these tokens that appear to be made from bones. They're sorted into various different types of bone, and he threads them through onto these necklaces. What's also on it is a kind of like a charm or a token that has the Vandekhul coat of arms on it. And he hands 5 of them to you. And he says, it would be best if you kept the fleshlings in the fleshling quarter and wear these at all times until you are able to acquire a merchant license. In order to switch the name of the captain of the skin trader to yours, please see the administrative building within Vandekhul.
Of course, and I'll keep the idiots in line.
Does the
Please
coat
see
of arms
that
look
you
like what we
do-
saw on the island?
No, you saw the sigil of
that's
Radomir
right,
Marablight and the sigil of Dudrago Blackfly.
Okay, gotcha.
I would advise all of you to be more truthful going forward. I am tired of merchants lying to pay lower fees. Do not cause a ruckus. And please leave my office.
Okay.
Corin turns around and
Leave.
walks right out.
Yeah, I said, thank you. Do you happen to know where the pleasure barge is?
It's on. We know it's on the northern docks.
Because
You just wanted to say pleasure.
It is on the northern end of the waterfront district.
Thank you. Sorry to waste your time. Walk out.
And you have left the office of the harbor master. What you have with you, Corin, you would be aware of this at least. These necklaces that you have, you should in fact wear. They are basically your admittance to the city. You are aware that the tokens basically denote time within the city. And the bone token that you currently have is roughly 3 days. The end of it is also dyed a color. The color of yours is all red. It's basically a fucking bread tag is what it comes down to. It says that you arrived on a specific date, and the token itself says how many days you can be here. So you arrived on, let's say, a Thursday, and there are 3 days left. If you go beyond that and someone sees your token, they will assume that you have overstayed your welcome.
So just going forward, I'm keeping my eyes open for people wearing similar necklaces with different colored tokens.
Right. And basically, you are, you all got the tokens because it is clear that most of you are not members of the Ghoul Imperium. That is what it denotes. If you had successfully lied or you had not seen through your things, then you would have just. Am I hearing the buzzing or is it everybody?
No, I heard that.
I'm hearing it too.
Yeah. You would have just been let go. This says that you are not a member of the Ghoul Imperium. And as I said, as the harbor master said, if you would like to get a merchant license and move the boat into, he assumed Corin's name because he was, first of all, Vandekhul, and second, told the truth, kind of just assumed that you were the captain of this operation. And as he said at the end, the fact that you had like, I guess two technically living people amongst you, and things like that. It appears that based on what he was saying to you, this is not the first time this kind of thing happens. People wear disguises all the time to try to get around customs fees and things like that. He just kind of assumed that you were merchants that have taken over this Captain Draven's ship to take over his kind of like operation.
Isn't a bad idea if you can get that ship.
And also, as previously stated as well, there are people within the Imperium who respect power. So taking over a ship like the Skin Trader successfully, arriving and then being truthful about it, is probably what allowed you to even leave the Harbor Master's office in the first place. So yeah. So you all have these necklaces that basically say you are not members of the Ghoul Imperium. You have a limited time to be here without further, basically more administration and bureaucracy to solidify your papers and or your intents.
Did we mess up Corin and Cutter? Like, were they members of the Imperium?
So Cutter's not, remember, he got papers the same time you all got papers because he lost his, if you remember.
Oh, that's right.
But again, Corin did not have the not allowed in Pit of All Flesh kind of like note written on his papers. His papers were probably clearly like older, more established, etc. He probably has been to like a naming shrine or something like this, which would be denoted on his travel papers. And clearly more traveled, which would also be noted on the travel papers. You guys got the papers in Pit of All Flesh and then basically got to Vandekhul. It's kind of like a passport that doesn't really have any stamps in it versus Corin's, which is like kind of been around the world and is like full of stamps.
Like
he just seemed to have like a lot more. First of all, was Derrickul, told the truth and has more legitimacy to his things.
Yeah.
And that all is what basically allowed you to leave the Harbor Master's office. Yeah.
Thank you, Corin.
So, so here's the thing. It is 9:30. We usually end at 10, but I know there were some people that needed to leave a little bit early. Before you guys head into the next district, do you want to go for another 30 minutes or do you want to pick that up with the next session and start kind of the full exploration of the city next week or next time we get together?
I'd say probably end, I would think.
Yeah. Because we know what we're doing. We know where we're headed.
It feels like a logical stopping point to me.
And Pleasure Barge, we're not going to solve that in 30 minutes.
Good either way.
No, that'll be a good place to start.
Okay. So thank you everyone for being here for this. As we have previously said, this is kind of the beginning of the end here on our campaign. It has been damn near 2.5 years that we've been running this. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the end, but it is. So we'll see how we wind up and go through the information. As I will explain again, all of the things that we needed to do. But after this first kind of district, did that make sense that you can have interactions that require you to make a change that will let you learn some information, but it is not the only interaction you can or will have within the districts itself? So it's kind of like,
perfect.
You're moving around like a normal game, but this is kind of overlaid on top of it. These requirements that you have to do, but there's more that you can do.
We had the skill thing first, but then we had other shit happen that we had to deal with as well.
Right.
So is the Harbor Master's office considered a location? Like that's the kind of...
no.
We had to go through it no matter what. But, okay.
You kind of had to go through it no matter what. Most of the locations are optional.
Oh, because you'll get info if you choose to. I gotcha.
So here's the thing, you'll get info in the district. If you don't go to a location at all and you just like stop someone on the street and start talking to people like that, or something happens, an encounter happens above and beyond all of this kind of stuff, you will, each time you're in a district, you have to make a roll. If there's not a location, you need to figure out who you're talking to and what's happening in order to try to get those whispers and rumors. That is like specific set information that you're going to get. Like you got some information about the Marquess and her general location by doing your successful check. Those are the kind of things you're going to get from whispers and rumors. A little bit of information about people or things that are happening within the city, and potentially location of those things. The secrets that you can get, as I said, will be crucial information, and those will only be found at those specific numbered locations.
Okay. And we're all
So
level
if-
15.
Yeah.
next
Can
time?
those?
Oh
can
yeah,
those
level
only
up
be,
before next session.
Can those? Oh yeah. Can those only be found by if we're at that location by also doing the check there?
Not necessarily. I mean, I
Okay.
can't really hide these numbers. I don't have a player map, but you can say, like, most of these numbered things are, like, if you see them, like, say, for example, number 7, within that market district, it's a pretty big, obvious building, right? Or looking at 18 and 17, those are clearly different types of buildings than the rest of what it looks like. So even when you go into those districts, those clearly look like important locations. And once you see those locations, you can say, oh, what is this? Is there a sign outside? Is there like neon blinking lights? So you can kind of get a general sense once you hit the district of that. And say you go into this light blue district here. If you're like, okay, we head towards this building, which is clearly different, number 6, you can then decide if you want to go in the location or not. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So basically what happened in the dock district is what's going to happen each time you enter a district. At some point you need to make a check. You can decide, as you did when, or as I asked with the customs people, this sounds like a check. Do you want this to be your skill check for the time? Or you can, since the dock was kind of a location, you can say when you're in building number 7, for example, if a situation like that arises again, where you need to persuade someone, deceive someone, run from something, you can say, okay, I want to make this our district skill check. We have the opportunity to learn more information based on this role. This is what we're going to do. So, and again, the secrets, if there's more than one location, you can learn secrets in more than one location. It's just at some point you have to do a skill check, whether it's at that secret location or not, just once though. Okay. Cool. All right. Jason, do you want to give a quick promo for our game tomorrow while I search for a raid?
Yeah. So tomorrow we are continuing our Merkborg adventure, Putrescence Regnant, which is the latest release from the official Merkborg guys, not third party. So yeah, we are going to be diving deeper into that. Hopefully get into the swamp finally. But yeah, that'll be obviously me running it. Ryan will be there. Jess will be there. Ducky and the Sculpting Chin, who is in our chat right now, will be there.
Yeah, baby.
All right. We are going to hop over into... Let's go with Ink and Lear. That's what I think it is. I think we rated them way in the past. They're playing Wild Beyond the Witchlight, so I'm gonna be quiet about that. Stick around at the end here. Yeah, we are going to roll some quick credits, raid out, and catch us next week. Also catch us on Saturday for our next episode of the Weekly Scroll. We are going to be going over Orbital Blues from Soul Muppets, which is I get the vibe that it's like a Cowboy Bebop as a game.
Yeah.
It talks about space
Western
cowboys and stuff. So yeah.
What
that'll be really
time
fun.
are
That'll
you
be
guys?
interesting.
I know you were later for Johan thing, but like what time?
Oh yeah, it's still just gonna be the 8 o'clock Pacific,
8
10 p.m.
Okay.
Central. Yeah. And not this week because we're still in January, but starting in February, there is a thing called Zemo, which is the kind of creator version of Zine Quest, since Kickstarter for no real reason moved Zine Quest to like November or something with Gen Con. Zemo is a big push for TTRPG creators that are doing projects in zines to get their projects out and crowdfunded, whether it's on Kickstarter or Itch. Because even though we're Kickstart the podcast, we'll talk about GameFound, Itch funding, Kickstarter, all that kind of stuff. So for the month of February, we are going to be trying to go through as many Zemo projects as we can at the beginning of each episode. So not this week, but starting next week. So if you do listen to us and you do have a Zemo project or know of anyone that does, find us on Twitter at weekly_scroll and drop that. Otherwise, again, Huge Chestnut Regnants tomorrow, Weekly Scroll on Saturday, and we'll continue here on Dark Kingdoms next Wednesday. So all of you guys have a great night. We will see you later.
Bye.